well. And I don't know if you are aware of this, but she is, I know Colombia is now open from doTERRA essential oils. And so she's working in Colombia, like trying to get people just educated on natural solutions over there. So super cool. Welcome. Indiana, Reading. Hi, Cindy. Okay, Facebook, I am hoping that this works. I'm not really sure why it kicked me out before, but welcome. I was just sharing on Instagram that it's been a minute. I'm going to resume my weekly lives, and I would just ask for your prayer against the demons that live in my internet, because apparently there's some weird challenge. But what you guys will all get a kick out of is the fact that right now I'm actually connected, not on my phone, but on my computer. I'm connected to an Ethernet cable. That's like from 1982. Am I right? I mean, literally, we just went back like 50 years almost. Not really 50, I don't do math, but you get the point. Because I have an Ethernet cable connecting me to the internet. I mean, hopefully that's going to work. Anyways, that's not why I'm here today, to tell you about all my internet problems. But I do want to say welcome back. I'm really thankful that you guys are here and that I can continue to serve you in this space. Thank you for sharing where you guys are from. It's really fun to just see where you're all joining from. So my name is Susan Johnson. If you're new to this space, I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner. I'm also the founder of the Kick Cancer Movement, which is a nonprofit that helps support kids going through cancer, teaching them alternative therapies that they can use alongside their conventional treatment. I'm also Presidential Diamond with doTERRA, and that means that my job is pretty awesome. I have the privilege of teaching people how to use essential oils to really support their health. So I use this space online as a platform to get this information that I feel like is really crucial out to as many people as possible. And I want to serve you guys just from the standpoint of always being real and always being honest about what we've walked through and using our experiences to help other people. So what I want to talk about today is a really important subject that I think is sometimes overwhelming. And it's the idea of, how do you support a friend or a loved one, a family member that's walking through crisis? Somebody that is walking through a really rough season in their life. And it could be medical, it could be relationship, it could be financial. Whatever it is, it's all relative, right? So we don't necessarily ever know how or what they're feeling. But if there's someone close in your life, they need to know you're there. So I'm going to share with you a really, really powerful 4-letter word that is all you need to know to really support someone when they're walking through a hard season. So before I share that, will you share this? There's so many people walking through hard times. And I think if more of us if more of us were equipped to know how to support those people, I think the healing process could be more efficient and faster and less painful. So make sure to share this with people that you know that may need this information as well. So what is that 4-letter word? It's S-T-A-Y. It's stay. That's all they need to know, is that you're going to stay. When my son was diagnosed with cancer, we had an incredible amount of support from some of our closest friends and family members. But do you know what else we had? We had friends and family that actually just stopped talking to us. And it wasn't that they didn't love us anymore. It wasn't that they didn't want to be around us. It was they simply didn't even know what to say. And I don't blame them for that, but it was painful. It was painful to go, why is this defining like my relationships now, right? And I think if they had the tools and they knew that literally all I needed to hear from them was, hey, I'm here if you need anything. And that once in a while they just check in to let me know they're there. Oftentimes we assume that we need to fix the problem. When we were walking through this season with our son, I didn't expect anybody to fix the problem. I didn't expect anybody to say the right thing. I just needed to know that they were going to stay. And gosh, you guys, some of our relationships through that season grew so profoundly. And we went to depths that weren't even possible to comprehend before a diagnosis like that. And it's because they stood with me. They never had the right words. They never had the right advice. They just were there. So it's so simple. Just let them know that you're here. I wrote down a few things that you can say if you feel led to say something and you feel like you need to have words. There's a few things you can say. One of them is just simply, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. The other is I'm praying. And again, only if you are praying. I'm thinking about you is another one. Another is I believe in you. Or I believe in your child, or I believe in your husband, or whoever it is that may be walking through that season of crisis. And then finally, here is something that I ask that you approach with caution. Because the question that I hated the most was, how can I help? What can I do for you? I did not know how to answer that. I mean, heal my son, like cure him? I didn't know how to answer that question. So rather than asking a question like, what can I do for you, or how can I help? Either one of two ways to approach that same concept is, what is one thing right now that I can do to help? It's making it a little bit more specific. And to be honest, the response that you might get is just pray, and that's okay. But the other way to approach this is to not ask, but just show up instead. So maybe you know for a fact that this particular person has 6 kids and their house is always a mess. So show up and clean their house. I had friends that did that one time. It was just a terrible day. My son had gotten home from surgery and we had friends show up and just clean our house. And it was so humbling and it was so hard to accept. But if they would have asked me, can we come clean your house? I would have said, absolutely not. Maybe you know that this particular person is going through a rough financial season, and so you just leave a gift card on their doorstep. But again, I just ask that before you let the words come out that say, how can I help? What can I do for you? Remember that oftentimes they don't even know what it is that you can do. But the most important thing you can do is to stay. And just letting them know that you're there. Sometimes it's okay to be emotional with them. I'll never forget, in fact, I'm walking through this right now with one of my dearest friends, and I felt a little guilty. I feel guilty every time that I'm communicating with her and I'm crying. But I remember back to when Kicker got sick, and one of my very best friends, she called me and she just cried. And it was okay. It actually felt good to know that there was somebody grieving with me and that there was somebody that loved me so much that they could cry with me. And it didn't make me feel worse. It didn't make me feel like, wait, no, I need you to be strong. It felt good that she could grieve with me. So that's okay too. I think there is a season that we need to be a little bit stronger for that person in our life, right? And I share about this on my blog post. I talk about eating donuts. Yep, you heard me, eating donuts. I talk about how my marriage was falling apart in the midst of this. And a lot of it came down to the fact that I had these certain expectations of what my spouse should be doing and how he should be responding, and vice versa. So there's certainly a time and a season that maybe we need to be a little bit stronger for someone, but it's okay to weep. It's okay to grieve with that person and to love them through it and show them that you're feeling the same emotions that they are. So for those of you on Facebook, I did link the link to the blog post that I shared about how we thrived through cancer as a family. And you guys, it was a shit show in the beginning. Excuse my language, but it was. It wasn't easy. But I shared about kind of how we began to navigate it and how we began to regain our new normal. On Instagram, if you just go to susanjohnson.com/blog, you'll find the most recent post, and it is titled How We Thrived Through Cancer as a Family. I hope it blesses you. I hope that it serves you, and I hope that you walk away from this feeling more equipped to better support the loved one in your life, or perhaps you're the one walking through crisis. And it's a helpful reminder for you to know that there are people that love you so dearly, they just sometimes don't know how to act. They don't know how to show up. And so you could share this with them. You could share this with your friends and your family and just say, hey, here's some suggestions on how you can show up for us. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining. I'm going to resume these weekly lives. And if there is a specific topic, if there's something that you would really like to hear, I would love you to share that with us. You can message us. You can shoot us an email at info@susanjohnson.com. But I want to serve you. I want to be in this space and just be really intentional with our time together. So thank you. I hope you guys all have a blessed week. And we'll talk to you soon. We'll see you next week. Bye, Facebook.